Okay, and we are live for episode 2 of the Jaime and Jay podcast. I would like to personally apologize for the messed up audio on the first one. I think I was too much on my high horse about how good it sounded to us, what we were hearing. And then as soon as we played it after, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, we were all like, dude, it looks so good. We were like, oh, we were
Yeah.
hyped about it. We're like, let's go eat afterwards. And we watched it. We're like, wait a second. There's nothing not right here.
Yeah, and I will say that Jaime did want to do it pre-recorded, and I was the one who was like, let's just do it live, fuck it. And well, yeah, so live and learn. That was gonna be the theme for episode 2, but we decided to change it to from failure comes success. And that'll be kind of what the overarching theme. We know we have a few other things that we want to kind of get into, the normal stuff, but
Yeah, and real quick, like this is unrelated to the topic, right? I really, with this being the last time being the first time that we did this, we got a lot of really good feedback, right? A lot of good friends, like
a
people,
lot of good feedback.
like people that we hadn't reached out to in so long, or we hadn't just heard from in so long, reaching out to us. We were eating, and one of your homies called, right? I had like one of my old finance managers who like I love so much. He calls me and he was messaging me just telling me how good it was, and he watched it. It was good stuff, and it was really good. So good, so much good feedback. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, right, there's also some people like, I mean, it wasn't really a lot. It was just like one person that says kind of something like a little negative, and yes, maybe it would have been like something funny. But the one thing I'm always gonna say, like for anybody starting anything, right, if it's something that's kind of big on your heart, something that you feel the passion, you feel like you want to do something, I don't think you should ever listen to somebody who's negative. And maybe, yeah, we can talk about this a little bit later too in the podcast, but if there's any resistance, maybe that means that you're on the right path. Maybe that means that you're onto something. Maybe that means that, hey, this is something that you are called to do, because there's always going to be haters, right? There's always going to be those people who don't want you to succeed. But that also kind of means that maybe, this is what you're supposed to be doing, So just want to say that, right? Don't let anybody dim your shine. Don't let anybody like hold you back from doing what you want to do. And maybe you should just prove them wrong, make them eat their words in a sense, right? But
Yeah, 100%. Something I had to adapt to in music, especially because there's a fine line, right? Whenever it comes to that, not everything is like this, but specifically music, and then I guess the podcast can also be brought into that same category of there's like criticism, and then there's like not liking it, but not everybody's gonna like it. Like,
yeah,
if you take the biggest artist in the world, like Michael Jackson, there's always that one person that's like, oh, I don't like Michael Jackson. It's like, okay,
yeah,
fair. You can't expect everybody to like everything that you do, but there is a difference between like criticism and then just like plain out hating.
yeah.
So
We also have to realize, right,
dividing that line up, like whenever he's speaking about that, he's speaking about like just kind of like hating on something to hate on it, and then there's like constructive criticism, like, oh, this, that, and the third, you could have done this better, you could have done that. For the most part, it was almost like 100% positive feedback.
it was really good
with like a 1%.
Yeah, very. And then he also did turn it into something good, I guess, at the end, right? So, hey, it is what it is. We don't ever hold any grudges against stuff like that. We're just gonna keep on doing what we gotta do. But I do want to like make a point to ask you more questions, because I feel like I can definitely go on my rants and just go off the wall with random stuff. But I know we're talking about like from failure comes success. I wanted to ask you, because I know we've talked about your music before, right? Me and you, like, just personally. Mm-hmm. And I told you, like, I used to play music. I used to want to do this stuff too, right? And I don't have the time to put it into that. So I kind of wanted to talk about, like, what got you into music?
So I got into music. The guy who I consider now, like, probably my closest friend. It's like my brother. We've known each other since we were in, like, elementary. So, longtime friend of mine, he wanted to start a music label, and at the time the NWA movie had just came out, and he wanted to have something like Ruthless Records, the Eazy-E shit, and then we started planning it out. He had a name. He wanted to call it 210 Records, and then he found out that it was taken, and he was devastated. And I came up with changing the 210 to CCX, which is the Roman numerals version of it. I'm real big into Rome. I'm Italian. That has like a part to do with it, right? Because Rome is in like modern day Italy. And me and Julius Caesar have actually the same birthday. So I've always been like really really big into Roman stuff. So I decided that we should change the name to CCX because it wasn't taken and nobody was using it. And from there, we had made shirts and everything, like promoting our label. And then we realized that we didn't have any artists, and we didn't know anybody making music at the time. We're really young. We're maybe like 12 years old at this point, or maybe 11. This was, I think, the summer from 6th to 7th grade, and we're already thinking about all of this stuff.
Oh man, you're young.
Yeah. So by 8th grade, it was like, okay, we're gonna make our own mixtape. And me and him tried doing it. I was a little bit better at like actually like staying on the beat and doing that. He was better at writing, but I think that his like musical like talent wasn't really there.
It's more so the passion behind it. Like, hey,
yeah,
we need those people too. You know, those people to keep on like just pushing, and we always get better together too. That's like something we can talk about later, but.
Coming into our freshman year, like halfway through, I was just like, fuck it. I brought it back, and I really got into it because the songs that we made, they never got finished. It was like snippets, just little pieces of music. And then, you know, my freshman year, I just decided to like really drop some stuff. And that right there came in. We can bring that back to like the topic of like, there's like the criticism and then there was like the haters. I had a little bit of both. And at the time, I took all criticism, and I'm young at this point, right? I took all criticism as like hating. And then looking back at it now, though, I'm able to see, I'm like, okay, well, there was, you know, whenever I'm just starting off, there was things that I needed to fix. You know, I wasn't as good as I thought I was at the time.
Yeah.
So, but that, you know, that failure from my first songs, like, ended up pushing me to whenever people hear my music now, they're like, oh, shit, like, you really make music. And I'm like, yeah. I really make music.
Yeah, another thing too is they only see like what you're putting out currently, right? But if they would have seen like the beginning, right, it's like, dude, look how far I've come.
The people who have seen that always like talk about that. They're like, you know,
come up.
Yeah, and even people that I'm not really like close to who were just kind of like watching from afar. I remember whenever I dropped my first like real project, like people were telling me like, bro, like congratulations, like you fucking did it. Like you started out, and this project was you like showing that you really are an artist.
Yeah, and then you know another thing too is like whenever you do stuff like this and you start getting passionate about the things that you do, you start noticing there are people who, maybe they're close to you, but they almost like start throwing shade like out of like in a way where like maybe they want to do the same things, but they're like response is to like put you down so it makes them feel better about them not chasing their dreams, right? I don't know if I told you, like when you first started, like at North Park. Somebody was talking about you and they're like, oh yeah, he plays music. And then like somebody pulled it up and I was like, okay, bro, like you're gonna talk crap about this guy. I was like, I think it's more like, damn, this guy has the balls to do it, bro. Like how many times have I wanted to, and I started talking about like I wanted to play music and I played music in certain parts of my life, but I never made it to what I really wanted it to be, you know? So like, you're either gonna have the admirers or the people who hate on you, but either way, I still think they're kind of fans in itself, you know, both in a different way. I guess.
They are. They're like secret admirers.
That's what it is. Like they're like the girls in middle school that used to hate on you, but in reality they really liked you. That's what it is. You know?
You know, and it comes with the territory. Whenever you're doing something good, and whenever you're doing something creative, and you're actually creative in the sense that you're making something. You know, anybody can go into the system already created for them. You know, you go to McDonald's and then you get behind the cook and they tell you how to cook it and, you know, follow whatever they created.
Yeah,
whenever
like order takers.
Yes, anybody can be an order taker to actually like create your own system or put your own like soul into something like this or music. Because at the end of the day, yes, there's other people doing podcasts, but nobody else is writing what we're saying.
Yeah,
this is coming from us. Like this is the words that we're creating. You know, the script or whatever is from us. So whenever you go into that space, there always is going to be those people who are like, damn, like low key, they wish they could do it.
Yeah, and I mean, and even if it's not that way, right? If somebody's hating on you, like, I'm very much the person, and maybe it's not a good thing, right? But I'm very much the person that in my life, if anybody's ever hated on me, like I always say, like I might forgive you, but I won't forget. And so I always use it.
Jaime does not forget.
I don't forget anything. That's like it's definitely something I'm working on, right? But it's one of those things like I will remember things and I'll use it as fuel. Like, and I know it's more like I do things out of spite, like, oh, I'm gonna prove you wrong, right? But it's sometimes you need that extra fuel to like, hey, like, yeah, maybe I was doing this for myself, but now it's like, hey, like, I want to prove it to you that I'm as good as I say I am, right? And then that's something too, like at work, if anybody ever comes up to me and tells me I suck, I'm like, no, I'm the best one here. And then like, am I really the best one there? I mean, maybe I gave him my comfortable stages, right? But it's very much I have to believe that before, before I become that. Because if you don't believe in yourself, who is, you know? But I mean, let's get back into like your music. So you started when you said in middle school, right? Like how old? Like 10, 12?
We came up with the idea to do the label at 11, and I didn't start making music until 13. You know?
But let's think about it this way. That's a decade of you trying to chase your dreams, you know?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
you're still
yeah,
chasing them
yeah.
right now, you know?
It's definitely been a decade since I made and like dropped my first song. It's almost been a decade because I was at 14. So yeah, it's almost been a decade of me putting in the work, and that's why I am where I am at now. You know, at this age, I'm able to do everything. It wasn't just like the route that I took. It wasn't just being an artist. It was learning how to engineer first because I recorded myself. So that was one of the biggest things that I focused on and something that really bothered me. I'm a person who really pays attention to detail. And I get it, right? So with artists, there's like levels to artistry. But I understood very, very early on that my music didn't sonically sound like the bigger artists. And that was something that bugged me more than anything. Because I'm like, okay, before I can gauge what the actual difference between them and me is on like as an artist, I need to have the same quality as them. You know, we got to be on the same playing field in order to really like compare the music. So I sat there for hours and hours and hours and spent a lot of money on getting the right stuff and learning how to do it. Because you can have all the right equipment, and if you're not good at engineering, it's still going to sound like shit. It's a whole science. Learning that part of it. And I learned the production too because I want to be able to create, to understand how it is. I don't prefer to produce, but I will if I have to. If I have a song that I want it to sound like this, if I can work with a great producer, like shout out to Ace One, probably the best producer in the city. If I can work with him and just have him do the production, I would rather do it that way. But I also want to have an understanding of how that gets created so I can tell him what I want.
And just going to that, I think like I'm the same exact way, right? I was just saying the other day, like as soon as I learn how to like fix the cars myself, right, going to work, fix the cars myself, detail the cars myself, deliver the cars myself, contract the customers myself, and pencil my own deals myself, I can be a 30-car salesperson, right? But until that, I have to depend on other people. And it's like, hey, if I can take all these things into control and like learn how to do it my way, and because that's what you said, like your way is not going to be the same way as anybody else, right? We very much do. We're very like particular people with the things we do. Like if you look at anything we've done in life, like we like things a specific way. We want things this way and no other way, right? If not, it kind of bothers us, and it's very much
My girl
like
hates it.
yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is like we're chasing that. We're chasing just trying to be better, you know. And I mean, that's like the whole reason we're doing this, right? At the end of this, I don't know how long we're gonna do this. If it's years in the years in the future, and we scale this up to something else, like I hope and very much, well, I know I am. We're gonna be a whole lot better because of it, right? We're getting uncomfortable. We're doing something that maybe everybody says they want to do, but they don't really have the balls to do it, I guess, or just confidence behind it to do it. But I hope that somebody somewhere gets something from this and kind of like at least uses it to push forward in their own dreams, their own aspirations. But I know we can keep on going into this. I also wanted to talk about something that you were scared of in your professional standpoint. If you had something to say, go ahead.
I always say that I know where I'm going and I know what I'm going to get. I just don't know when and how.
Yeah.
But I know I'm going to get there. Like I have a vision in my head of where I want my life to be in 10 years and what I want to have. And I know I'm going to get it. Oh, you know, all my little goals I end up getting. And I think we had talked about that a little bit in the first episode. Is it, I feel like all of the little goals have been like checked off. You know, everything else from here on out is just like the grand shit. You know?
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like I've always said little things like me as a person, if you tell me like, oh, you have to do all like if you give me a laundry list of things to do, it's not gonna get done. But if you give me like one little task here, one little task there, start knocking out little things, right? At that point, that's when it becomes like that's when the goal becomes so much more achievable because it's little things, it's little steps. We're not running a marathon right off the back. We're like, all right, let's walk around the neighborhood for today. All right, now let's do it in half the time, whatever it is. And it's small goals, small things that we can accomplish. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like even last time, some of the feedback we got was maybe there was the transitions weren't there or whatever it is. But we are very much just like we have like little points what we want to talk about. But we are very much everything's coming from the heart. It's very much coming from our mind. All the random stuff that's in my head, right? It's just coming forward, and it's very much like. This is very much who we are, what we want to do, and how we want to talk about it. And we're not really like planning anything. It's just coming like real, like raw stuff that's coming from our heads, you know. And so you can tell like, hey, this is real, genuine stuff, you know, not stuff that's all fabricated and we're trying to be somebody else who we're not.
We didn't want it to feel scripted. We have bullet points of what we want to talk about. I think that it does need to be raw. If it becomes scripted, then we'll end up writing the same script over and over and over and over again. I think that'll get repetitive. So, yeah, it is just kind of bullet points. And then whenever we're done talking about something, the transitions at first they'll probably be a little awkward because it's like, okay, we're done with this topic. Let's move on to the next bullet point that we have. We just don't want it to feel super scripted or like inauthentic. You had asked me what's something that I was scared to do.
Yeah, professional, I guess, because I know last time, like, obviously we know each other from work, right? I think another thing is about, you know, obviously to get this to the point where we want it to be, obviously we have to make enough money where we can get like all the extra stuff we want, right? We talked about, we want different angles. We want this and that. We want a studio, right? Eventually. Like, so obviously we're going to have to fund that. So a step of the process to get that is to make more money, right? So obviously we both work at the same place right now. We're both salesmen, right? It's not like I'm your manager or anything like that. We're the same exact position, right? The same exact store in the same exact city. Selling the same exact products. Like, I guess from here, what's something that you were maybe scared to do, and then you realize like once you did it, once you took that leap, then maybe it was something that you should have done a whole long time ago, you know?
Going to North Park was probably one of the scariest decisions that I made because I was so comfortable, and I think that might have been an easier transition for you because you got fired.
Well, we didn't have to talk about that. Yeah.
But not because he did anything. It was not firing for lack of producing.
No, it was very much getting fired for too much passion, right? We'll say
very,
that.
Very passionate.
Very passionate, right?
To where other people felt it.
Yeah.
So moving to North Park, right, was voluntarily.
Yeah.
And I was really, really comfortable at Ancira Dodge. I hadn't made there, and you know, even to this day, I look back and I'm like, fuck, that was a really, really good time. It was a great environment. The brand slowed down, and that had nothing to do. You can blame this or that or this person or this decision or whatever. I think that it didn't have anything to do with the dealership. It had everything to do with Dodge because Toyota didn't slow down.
Yeah.
You know, Chevy didn't slow down. I think that it was the brand. I think Dodge made some bad decisions in the last few years, and they had fired their CEO. Like, around all of this stuff is happening the year that I left. They had fired the CEO of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and made a bunch of different decisions to go back to the muscle cars, stop going to the electric, stop making the engine smaller. People want the loud, aggressive cars. That's where Dodge made their money at. Yeah. It's American muscle. That's what the brand was known for. So they had made all those bad decisions. It slowed down, and I had a few bad months in a row. It was like 4, like all of winter. I really didn't make a lot of money. And at the time, Javier Cuevas had he was the first manager who interviewed me.
Shout out Javi.
Yeah, shout out Javi. He was the first manager who interviewed me, and that there's 2 Javiers. When I first started, there was 2. There's Javier Silva. He ended up being my actual manager, and there's Javier Cuevas, the first manager who interviewed me, because when I showed up, I said, I'm here to interview with Javier, and they brought him out. Even though the other one was off, I was supposed to be interviewing with the other manager for his team. Javier, they both go back and forth about which one of them like really want to be there. And at the end of the day, I think Javier Cuevas was the first yes, and Javier Silva was the final yes that got me in. You know, as far as their story. But Javier Silva took care of me over there whenever Cuevas was gone. It was a real like emotional thing that I was told by the other guys that he hadn't spent that much time training someone. So I know that he really put like a lot of effort into me to build me into a good salesperson and kind of teaching me the right way.
And you build like that respect for that person, right? Because
yes,
he took that time.
And he helped me out so much. Like at least every month he was giving me like 2 deals, and they were just, you know, oh here.
Yeah, and
they were pretty much done deals, like
bro. But sometimes you need that too, right? Like like the sales is such like a mental thing. Like me, bro, I can sell 10 cars in a week if I wanted, and there's like a whole week where I won't sell anything, and it's just very much like me in my head. And sometimes you do need that little bit of a little bit of assistance,
a little bit of a push.
Yeah, to get that ball rolling. You know what's crazy? You say that, right? I always say if I didn't get fired from Cavender, I would have died there. You know, like there's very much the Kool-Aid or flowing from the fountains there. And I don't know what's in the water, but you know, they need to put some filters on it or something. Because man, it was one of those. I have a couple records on the board there, right? Like, so I'm always thinking, like, I was there very much in the point where it was a time to be selling cars, right? Like, there was no cars in San Antonio, but Cavener Toyota had them all, right? You know, and so it was one of those things, like, I remember, yeah, there was times where we didn't know if we were going to have a job the next day because we didn't know if we had more cars and salespeople, bro. Like, that was the crazy thing. We had more cars and salespeople more salespeople than cars. My bad. Flip that around. So
I was about to say, I was like, that's kind of normal, no?
You're like, yeah, right. Yeah, no. Yeah. But it was one of those things where I knew I had made a lot of money there very early in my life, right? So I was like, man, like maybe we're just going through some rough patches right now. Maybe things are just getting, you know, in a slow spot or something like that. And you're just waiting the time out. You're waiting and waiting and waiting, and you're thinking, is this me? Right. And so maybe, yeah, bro, like it was one of those things I was very much, I knew I needed to leave. And the funny thing is I knew that if I was going to leave there, I was going to end up at North Park. Like, I don't know why. I don't know how. Like, I knew people at the time that were there. And it was just always in the back of my head. I remember even telling my used car director, like, yeah, if it doesn't work out here, like, cause you know how I am, bro. I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm like, hey, if it doesn't work out here, I'm going straight to North Park. I'm already telling you my plans, right? And so obviously, yeah, I got fired, right? And so I think it was very much like God's way of telling me, like, I needed to get out because I had plans and goals for my next 7 years of my life. And if I told myself, oh, if it doesn't work out at that point, then I'll leave. But, like, bro, 7 years, I would have been, like, old as shit, you know? Like, by the time I'm trying to figure everything out. So it's very much, there's that. I tried something else, and it was good. It just wasn't great. It wasn't what I needed, right? And yeah, I did fail at that. I was doing okay, right? But in my head, I was failing because I wasn't making as much as I was. And so even going to North Park, it was like, yeah, like I had to be okay with failing. And I had to restart everything too because I wasn't the same person I was, you know, at Cavender. I didn't have those records behind my name or anything like that. So I was starting from scratch. So it's one of those things you had to be okay with failing first before anything.
I was failing at the Dodge store miserably, you know. Those last months were horrible. And I had that relationship with Javier Silva, so I wanted to stay there and you know, go through it as long as I could. The GSM at the time, I had met him before I was even in the car business, funny enough. We had met on New Year's through a family friend, the same family friend that got me in there. Oh, yeah. He had met me then. So we had a really good relationship, and he took care of me while I was there. So I'm really cool with the GSM. I'm really cool with my managers, all of the salesmen. Were like family to me. It was very, very scary to go over there to North Park we had like 12 sales guys at the Dodge store to 50 plus at North Park.
And that's still nothing, bro.
And the managers don't know me.
Yeah.
We don't have the same, you know, we're
There's
all
no
getting
respect there, yeah. It's starting from scratch. There's no mutual
respect.
Yeah.
At the Dodge store, we were all doing bad, so it was very much like, hey, we're just kind of all in this together. Mm-hmm. You know, we're all going through it at the same time. At North Park, it was like, hey, everybody here is doing good. You either sink or swim.
And it's very much that way, bro. Like, there's no floaties. Like,
Javier
jump in.
pressured me hard, and I'm glad that he did, right? Because I ended up going over there and making more money at North Park. It was
Okay.
I had to read that question too.
Yeah.
We'll answer that right now.
Yeah.
Javier was. I went over there to go check it out and just to go see Brandon. Right, Brandon
Oh, yeah.
had told me, "Hey, come pull up over here." He was the guy who trained me at the Dodge store, who ended up leaving to North Park. He's like, "Just come check it out." When I went to go check it out, Javier was like, "Hey, are you in or you're out?" And I was like, "I don't know. I need some time to think about it." And he's like, "No, bro." He's like, "Decisions are made on the fly." He's like, "If you want to get somewhere, you got to decide right now." And how am I commenting in that? Okay.
maybe check out the
Oh,
next one.
okay. Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, "What?"
How did I comment myself?
And so I was just like, "All right, fuck it. I'm in, but I need a little bit of time to get right. I had to get clean for the test." So, yeah, and my first month there, I made like 3 times what I was making at the Dodge store.
And
So it was a leap of faith, and I'm glad I took it. But I was very, very like scared
Yeah.
to go over there and compete with that many different people. As I got there, I realized I took like the good with the bad. That yes, there's a lot more salespeople there, but you can also learn a lot more from a bunch of different people who are killing it. Because at the Dodge store, I mean, you learn here, this and that, but I don't think that the salespeople over there are as developed as these sales guys, because you see people have been to so many different stores.
Yeah, and it's like, how many times are we together, right? And we're just like doing random bullshit, and then like I'm telling you about like a customer, like something that I just went through, and then you're like, wait, what did you say? And then it almost like I see it sparks a light bulb in your head, and you're like, it looks like you want to like pull it out. And
Yeah,
write it down.
just write it down real quick, because the word track is so important in sales. So if you know how to overcome an objection or deal with like heat, those little phrases and stuff that you come with, because you've had so much experience in sales that you already have those things down. Like you know right away. If person says A, that you respond with B. If they say C, you respond with D.
Yeah.
And control the conversation, because you already know what they're gonna say next.
Yeah, very much now. It's instincts, bro, and that's the thing. It's crazy is that when I first started, especially how like my ADHD works, like I'm all over the place, bro. So sometimes I try to look into like, I guess, too deep into certain things that customers say, but after so long, that's the one thing I was gonna tell you. Like being at a Toyota store, you very much get way more opportunities, I think, than maybe a Dodge store, right? Like, because it's such a higher volume.
Yeah. So we made more per car, but you definitely make more as a whole. You saw the little flex on the camera.
Yeah, I know, I saw it. Yeah.
We make more money at Toyota because we sell more units. At the Dodge store towards the end, I mean, we're selling like 100 new cars.
Yeah, and bro,
And at Toyota, we're selling 400 or 500.
So think about it this way, right? Like that one month I sold 30 and a half. Most people won't even have 30 opportunities to sell a car in a month, bro. So like when we're talking about like you have to go through failure to succeed, like that's a great thing about being at a Toyota store, is that you have so many opportunities to fail. And that's really the only way you're going to learn, right? You're going to try something. Okay, it didn't work. Why did it not work, right? And that's anything in life, bro. Like the more you fail, the more you learn from it. Sometimes I sit there and I'm just like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? Like if you look at my desk, bro, like I have ideas of how can I make myself better, or make it easier for myself. I'm like, okay, let me try this. I'll buy something, and then I'm like, yeah, this doesn't work, and I'll just like not use it. And then I'll buy something else. I'm like, okay, yeah, this works so much better. And like I take things out, put things in, and I'm always like, it's like trial and error, bro. And so how do we know what's going to work for us if we never try it? That's the biggest thing. Man, the chat's like blowing up right now.
Yeah, the chat's going crazy. So the question, how do you feel about pride and men's mental health awareness being in the same month?
I'm not trying to take anything away from Pride Month, right? I definitely don't want to be that guy, but I very much am almost like, man, I kind of like, why are we sharing a month with men's mental health? Like it's almost like, why can't I get my own month? Because I think this is a pretty important topic. It's not that like, okay, maybe we're sharing it, right? Like, hey, it is what it is. Everybody's a person, and I think at that point we all get better together, and you can never judge anybody, right? I have plenty of friends who are part of that community, and I love them dearly. Like, these are the most important people in my life sometimes, but it's very much like, hey, like, can I get my own month so we could talk about this, make this more important? But that's my view. That's my my little couple cents there.
I look at it from a completely different standpoint, and we can talk about, our personal situation, and so I don't get too deep into what they got going on, but let's just talk about pride for a second real quick. Pride is a sin. It's one of the 7 deadly sins, I think, or it's a sin in the Bible anyway, if it's not one of the 7 deadly sins. It's something that you shouldn't have a lot of. Pride is the reason why the audio was fucked up in the first episode, because I was such on my high horse about like, oh yeah, I'm an audio engineer, I'm gonna make the audio sound great. It sounded great in the headphones, and my pride stopped me from double checking it, and it ended up being fucked up. So celebrating pride, if we just cut off the first part, celebrating pride, I don't think should be done as a Christian,
Yeah, and very much I agree with not celebrating sin, but then I also have to think about it this way: like, we are all sinners. I am not perfect. I am not. I mean, very much certain ways I know that I need to change. I need to be better. There are things that I struggle with myself, and so who am I to judge somebody else for their sin when I very much am not perfect myself?
Says Chase got prideful homies. Yes, 100%. I mean, everybody's prideful. Like I said,
All prideful.
I spoke about it within myself, and I don't think that we should support pride. Mm-hmm. Now, if they want to have a different way of talking about it, they can have a different way of talking about it. If it was Men's Pride Month, I wouldn't support that either, because I don't think that people should be prideful. Pride leads to ego. You can be confident. I think that confidence is a great thing to have, but being prideful is... I've always looked at pride as a negative word.
And you know what, bro? I just put it on I think I put it on my note, like one of my notes on Instagram, like this week. I've been praying for humility, right? To take myself out of certain things. I know ultimately, like I put it on my story today. I was in church, and it's very much, I put God heal me so you can use me to heal others. And I know the person I am is not perfect. I know there's very much things. That's why we're here. I am an imperfect person here who's trying to get better, and hopefully somebody somewhere gets something from it, and I know I am very much on the journey to being better, but I pray for humility, because I know pride is one of my biggest things I struggle with. I know that I've done a lot of things by myself in my life, and I've really had no help. But at that same point, it's like when I can let go and let God take a little bit of the reins, and like let Him take some of that burden. Like, it almost like makes me feel so much more like at ease with the whole situation, bro. Like when I know that my problems are bigger than me, and so who else to go to than my Heavenly Father, that I'm gonna put everything up into God's hands and let him be like, hey, you know what, God, I'm on a path, and if this is where I'm supposed to be, then let it be, and if not, hey, take it away from me. That's very much, I mean, that's the same way I think about like me getting fired at Camden, right? It was redirection, right?
God's gonna steer, but you gotta row.
Yeah, and I'm rowing right now. I'm definitely
the
rowing.
Most important part. I want to talk about that a little bit too.
The homie's going crazy in the chat, bro.
He said, amen, clock it. I wanted to talk... And this was a brief conversation between me and one of the managers, and it made me think I want to talk about this on the podcast, because it's so true to I believe in many things other than just, your occupation or your job.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that they want something and then don't put in the work behind it. God is going to steer. He'll tell you where to go, but you have to row. Yeah. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to be in shape.
Yeah, what are you doing to be in shape?
You know what's crazy? I had this conversation with 2 different managers about 2 different topics. One was about work, and one was about working out.
Yeah.
Is that there's a lot of people out there who say, oh, I want to be in shape, I want to lose weight, but then they don't do the things that you have to do to lose weight. If you want to lose weight, you can't catch yourself eating bad shit. You can't catch yourself doing candy, soda. You know, you have to stay away. You have to control yourself, or you don't want to really lose weight. You're comfortable where you're at. If you wanted to lose weight that bad, you would feel bad eating things. Because right now I'm on my diet, and I feel real bad eating shit if I do it.
Yep. Yeah, and then you know what's crazy is that I very much say that I don't like working out with other people because I know that most people will never be as consistent as I've been because I've literally been working out for over a decade, right? Pretty consistently, right? There's been times I've fallen off, whatever, right? But everyone's like, hey, let me work out with you. Let me do this. And I'm like, yeah, we can do that, but I don't think anybody else is going to be as locked in as I am because I've already gone past that point where like this is part of my life, you know? And so I can very much give you the blueprint of life. Like I can, and that's another thing too, like let's just say me and you in sales, like you can come up to me and tell me like, hey, how do I be like you in sales? And I can give you the blueprint, but until you use these steps, until you actually put it like into use, you're not gonna get anything out of it. Like you can read all the self-help books, you can keep on doing, you can pray to God, right? And say, hey, God, change me, do all this stuff, right? Whatever it is. But until you actually start rowing, like you said, bro, nothing's going to change. And what did they say? If nothing changes, nothing changes.
Yeah. No, it's a tough thing. So in sales, right, there's guys who are like, oh, I want to make more money. I want to sell more cars. And then they don't do the necessary steps that it takes. You see them slacking off or you know, not holding on to their customers the way that they're supposed to. Not being willing to take the sacrifices, because sometimes you do have to sacrifice to sell cars. You might have to go and deliver a car somewhere where you don't want to go deliver it. You might have to go above and beyond and get something extra done for it.
Yep.
If they're not willing to do it, then they really don't want to make more money.
It's really how bad do you want it? I know you want it. But do you like kind of want it? Like,
are you gonna sit out in the sun all day and wait for that one person to come? Because that's what it takes sometimes. Sometimes you do have to sit out there in the fucking sun whenever it's 100 degrees out in Texas, or it's humid and it feels like it's 100 degrees until that one person comes.
Yeah.
And that's how you get your sale.
No, yeah, and so there comes I know there's a shift in my mindset, right? When there comes a certain point in the day where I look at the clock. I have to put a clock on my desk now so I can see what time it is, because you very much have to be aware of how much time you have left, and like, man, what are my goals, right? My small goals, if I want to hit 30 cars, is how many days in the month are there, right? I'm taking my days off, right? At this point, like I have with sunscreen. I have to follow these steps, right? And so like if I know I'm not, if I want to sell 30 cars in a month, I know I probably have to be at least selling a car and a half a day, right? If I'm taking my days off, right? And so I know that there's like certain times in the day where like I'm like, oh bro, I start getting like almost like a little anxious, right? It's not nothing where it like immobilizes me, but I'm like, damn, I haven't got in front of a customer. What am I gonna do to get in front of a customer, right? So there's very much things like, okay, like yeah, I can say I want to sell a car today, but what am I doing to sell a car today, right? Like, am I getting busy, like Tanya says, right? Or am I just like sitting there waiting for something to come? Am I gonna just be moping around until like something falls in my lap, or am I actually gonna go out and make something happen, you know?
And you can wait for something to come, but you have to be waiting in the right spot. Mm-hmm. You can't just be sitting at your desk. You can wait there with your finger on the phone waiting to answer it first. Yeah. But at least you're waiting for that. Or you can wait outside in the hot sun waiting for a customer. But if you're sitting at your desk, you're not on the phone, you're not on your computer, and you're expecting like somebody to walk up to you and just be like, hey, I want to buy a car from you. You know, whenever there's 50 other people who at least half of them are actively trying to get in front of someone, in a place like that, man, you have to be competitive. And the world is just like that. The world is the exact same way. There's billions of people who want the same money that you do. So if you're not willing to do whatever it takes, you're going to get walked over.
Yeah, somebody else is.
Someone is absolutely. If you're not willing to start a fucking podcast, somebody else is, and they're going to make a shit ton of money off of it.
And that's what I've always said, bro. You know what is crazy is that I always say, like, man, my head is like a graveyard or a storage place of just great ideas that have never come to light because I don't have the time or the energy or I guess the drive to put it forward, right? And so I know that I'm always like, there's a time where I very much get bored at work, right? And I'll just start walking around, and everybody knows it too, because they'll start like, okay, Jaime, like I'm gonna walk away, go do what I get done, right? But I'll start like preaching to them. I'll start like trying to speak life into my coworkers and kind of like help them out. I go and see Ricardo, right? Ricardo's always, bro. Ricardo loves listening to anything I say.
He's very, very green, and he needs it, you know.
Bro, he loves it though. He writes everything down. He's like, yeah, and he'll pull out his notes app, and I see it, and I'm, bro, I love that, right? And so like, I very much know that, I could be putting all these people onto game, but like if I don't put this out there on a bigger platform and kind of claim this knowledge myself, like who is, somebody else can just say the same exact thing as I say and they can get all the credit for it, right? I'm not trying to take credit for it, but if I don't put this stuff out there myself, how do I get bigger off of this? How do I reach a bigger audience to help people, right, and do the things I want to do in life, So it's definitely something we got to get a little uncomfortable with, and we just gotta keep on moving forward, right? It's almost like, hey, just make it small, right? One step in front of the other one. One step in front of the other one. That's all it is, right? It's as easy as that. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's just one step at a time. But I know, like we're kind of on a time crunch, right? Did you want to talk about anything here, or you want to go on to the fitness goals that we're gonna?
We can look at the chat real fast before we go.
I'm kind of blind, so I can only see so far. So I might need to get binoculars for the next pod.
Okay, what are the steps in sales? And I know we did not want to make this a car sales podcast, but since the question is being asked, what are the steps to sell more cars in your opinion? What do you do to be successful? Because you are someone who can turn on that switch and sell 30 cars whenever you want to, whenever you're willing to put in the work.
Yeah, and so that's I think I tell you all this all the time, bro. I think you waste your time standing in the sun. Like, let's be honest, bro. If I stand in the sun, what's going to happen? I'm going to get tired. I'm going to get burnt out.
We've had that conversation too, and it's because I'm an instant gratification person. Yes. I know starting this, you've seen like the real problem with that is I don't want to order anything. I will pay extra to go to the store and have it. Like, I need to have it that day, even if we're not going to use it that day. Yeah, I'm like, I need to have it. Like, I'm a very instant.
Sunday, I want it on Monday. Like, what? This dude needed the microphone. He's like, I need that microphone right now.
Yeah, so
like, dude,
I'm very much an instant gratification person. That's why I stand outside on the lot, is because I want the person in front of me. I want to get the sale right then. Your process is different, and go into that.
Yeah, so I just I come from a different dealership where the up system was a little bit different. You stood in front of one parking spot, and then that was your parking spot. Somebody pulled in, perfect. You got a deal. You got a customer at least. And what if another thing too is like, right? What if you waited all day long just to up somebody else's customers? Like, it's very you're almost bringing yourself down mentally that way, right? And you're only putting your chips into one parking spot, right? That's like going to Vegas and I'm gonna put all my money on black on this number, whatever it is, and hopefully I get it, like, no, bro. Like, I very much rather spread my money around and hopefully I get something, hopefully I hit big, right? And so, like, that's why you see my desk, bro. I very much could take a nap at my desk if I wanted to. I very much can get a workout at my desk if I wanted to. I very much make it seem like I don't have to leave. And that's very much me trying to be as efficient as possible, because I know that I'll get distracted and go do other stuff. But I'd rather sit in front of my desk, right? Catch some phone ups if I can, catch some internet leads if I can. I'd rather get some Facebooks out there, right? Start posting, do everything for my social media, right? There might be some times where I go out and take some pictures, right, of like 20 different cars, whatever it is, and start posting them. But I rather think smarter, not harder. Right? Why am I going to burn myself out for one opportunity to sell one car when I can burn myself out? Or not even burn myself out. It's a whole lot easier. I guarantee you, doing what I do, I probably have more energy at the end of the day than you do when you're sitting in the Texas hot sun. Like, it's not going to work out that way, especially long term. And you wear like long sleeve, like dress up shirts. I'm over here in my dry fit little polos. And sometimes it's not even a polo. Like, sometimes it's just like a regular shirt with a name tag on it. So like, I just very much think, like, why am I going to be sweating and after my 12-hour shift, very much smell, and then by the time I get in front of a customer, I'm already drenched in sweat. I look all like crap or whatever it is. And I don't even know what these people want. Why would I do that when I can just work my internet leads, work my customers, my pipeline, whatever it is, and I know these people, right? I know what they're coming in for. I know what the cars they're looking for. I know what they're trying to accomplish, right? I have a better idea of what they're trying to do. And so when they come in, it's very much of a wham, bam, thank you, man, let's get on the road and on to the next one, And so I think that's way more efficient. That's the way you sell 20, 30 cars instead of selling maybe 15, right? You can sell 15, make all the money, but eventually, if you want to get to that next level, I mean, we might need to get in front of more customers, and that's kind of the biggest thing.
I'm with you 100%. I'm very not
Oh,
patient.
you're with
though.
me?
I understand what you're saying.
We're gonna check in next podcast and see what Jay does.
I'm gonna be
We're gonna
outside
start
waiting for
tracking
instant
Jason.
gratification. That's what I would be doing. I hate, I
I
hate
know.
getting an internet lead, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got a lead, and they're like, all right, so it's Monday, right? And they'll be like, okay, I'll be there Friday, and I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck? Like, what did I? And then, let's say I had, and this is the instant gratification of me. It's like ordering something online, right? I make the order on Monday, and I'm not gonna get it till Friday. Like, I hate it. I hate the feeling. And I do need to change that. And I've talked to you about this. I need to switch that up.
Yeah, and that's more getting uncomfortable because you are stuck in your ways and you don't want to change, but you know that if you want to get better, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to do
I'm
the
very
things
impatient.
you don't want to do. Yeah, and let's maybe pray for patience. Maybe that's something we should think
Yeah,
about.
patience is a virtue. I mean, if I'm gonna talk shit on pride, I gotta talk shit on me being
We
impatient.
got some.
It's
sin
not my
going
best
on.
quality. We're imperfect people trying to grow. That's what this podcast is about.
Yeah. So, okay. Are we gonna do more? Or we're gonna talk about our
Let me see here.
I can't. I see a lot of stuff going on in the chat.
You see this question right here. I don't think you should answer this because it could incriminate you. It'd be better not if you don't answer that. You can maybe answer that off the podcast.
No, I'll go to the gym before work. Sometimes it's an hour workout right there before. And the good thing is I go to the Crunch right there down the street. So literally
Yeah.
10 minutes. And it's 10 minutes because I jump off the highway every day because I drive a big lifted truck and I can, So it's I find my time. I find my ways. Sometimes do I need a little bit of a mental health workout and I maybe call a little bit late. I don't know, maybe. But we could talk about that later.
So, we wanted to talk real quick. We're gonna have to end it because this is running a little long.
Yeah, super long.
We gotta check in with the fitness goals. Did
Yeah.
you work out all week? Did you eat right this week?
But I
know you worked out.
I worked out, and what the crazy thing is I was kind of so disappointed in myself this week because I only went 4 times.
Oh wow!
Bro! But that's the thing is that like I very much, I hate to say it, but I have not hit legs this week, right? But I love hitting legs. I love hitting legs. And the reason why I haven't hit legs is because I very much like the 2 to 3 hour workouts on legs where I kind of just destroy them because I don't like hitting legs more than once a week. And every time I do, I end up hurting myself more, right? But it's very much 4 days a week is probably the best for me, right? Long term. But me, I keep on, like my goals, I want to go 100% of my goals. And you know what? I take that back because I have not been eating good. I've been eating better. I've been more conscious about what I eat. And like, are my macros tracked? No. Am I hitting my protein goals? No. Are my calories down this week? Probably not. So maybe I fell off a little bit. But we just had a lot.
Why aren't your calories down? Let's talk about that real fast, right? If we're gonna talk
yes,
about
yeah.
the fitness goals, eating right is a big part of it. What have you been eating?
Bro, it's because we have Juan right outside the shadow. Juan, bro.
Juan makes healthy food though.
He does, bro.
So
I
if
know,
you're fucking
bro,
up, it's
I know.
completely on you. And that having Juan out there is not
it's a blessing. No,
it's
it
not a
is.
con. It's a pro. Juan will cook you some chicken, some steak
I know.
with some vegetables on the side, and that's all you need. So if you're getting fucked up shit from Juan, it's because you're ordering it.
I know, bro. No, trust me, I do, bro. Like, I know I could very much eat 5 eggs and like maybe a salad, and he's made it for me before. But
He's got salmon too, dog. Salmon's a
know.
nice lean fish.
I know, but it's what it is, bro. Is I've always been a big guy, right? I've always been a heavier guy, and my thing is like I've always worked out so I can eat what I want, But that's the hard part is I know I have to like kind of get there where I'm eating healthier stuff that I like, but I'm putting too much time into other stuff. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm lazy, and I don't want to cook for myself. That's what it is. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being honest. I'm being truthful. I'm being lazy, and I don't want to cook for myself and cook the things I probably should be eating. So I go and I pay. I'm instant gratification, right? I don't want to. I order DoorDash. I don't want to go leave. I'm trying to be efficient or whatever it is. I'll have Juan cook me. Juan's the guy who runs the food truck right outside of our dealership, and it's amazing. If you're ever at our dealership cooking, if you're buying a car or in service, whatever it is, and you see a red and yellow food truck outside outside the dealership, definitely go eat there. It's amazing. But and so that's the thing is too, is like you walk past and you smell his good food, bro. And you know what? He's always trying to put you like, oh, you want some cake today? You want this? You want ice cream, right? And he's a salesman too, bro.
Yeah.
Like literally. So it's very hard, bro. That's my weakness. There is probably gonna be food, right? But it's very much something I know I need to work on, and it's on my laundry list of things I need to start paying more attention to.
I've definitely been watching, especially since the first episode of the podcast this week. I've been trying to watch it. I almost slipped up yesterday. My girl definitely keeps me in check and tells me like, no, we don't need to eat anything bad. Like it's very simple. You can come home, and sandwiches aren't the best, but if you eat a wheat bread sandwich with just your protein and some cheese, like you're not gonna pass up your calories, right? Which is a real important part of it. Just make sure that you're eating like good protein, like turkey or something. That's very simple. That doesn't take you having to cook a lot, and it's way better than if you got a burger. You eat a burger, you're fucked.
I know, bro.
You are fucked. If you eat a burger, you're screwed, you know?
Bro, and that's my thing, right?
Because the burger comes with fries. You're not going to order a burger and get a fucking salad on the side from anywhere.
I know, bro.
So the burger's going to come with the fries, and that's what fucks you up. So this week, I've been pretty decent. I have had a little bit of soda, unfortunately, because not every place serves, like, not every place serves Gatorade or Powerade, which isn't that much healthier, but it's a little better than soda.
Yeah.
I tried it as much as I can to stay on the sparkling waters. Cause
and who put you onto the
0 calorie? Jaime did put me onto the sparkling water. I did not like sparkling water until he showed me the pina colada one. And this is actually a good flavor. I think a lot of the other flavors are atrocious.
Yeah,
absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
The LaCroix pina colada ones are good.
There's a lot of them. Like, you know what's funny is that once I started doing it, like everybody else is like, hey, can I have one? And then now there's like people coming to my desk and like, hey, what do you got in the fridge? And so it's like, you
gotta start charging people.
I know. I'm gonna have like a little tip jar or something. On top,
a tip jar to fund the other ones. Jay, why do you skip leg day, bro? Because my legs are already. It's not even my legs. He also asked, best workout to get my ass fat. My ass is too big. I can't hit legs. I'm not going to be able to fit in any type of pants. And I don't hit legs at all. And it's just naturally like that. I can't hit legs. I'm sorry. Anyway, so fitness goals for this week, Jaime, what are we going to cut out? That's the biggest thing. Is saying that you're just going to eat healthy straight is really hard for most people. You got to cut something out. What are we cutting out this week?
Man, you know what, bro? I very much am stuck in my ways, and there's certain things I always eat, and I love the breakfast burritos from Chick-fil-A, bro. I love Panda Express, and you know what? I have been me cutting is literally just changing my Panda Express order. It's changing
That's fine though. They just introduced that barbecue steak. You know, you can go to Panda and eat healthy. If you get the steak, or you get the teriyaki chicken, you're fine. Chick-fil-A breakfast burrito, probably not the best for you.
It has eggs, bro. Like eggs. I put the chicken nuggets in it. You know,
let's sacrifice Chick-fil-A this week for you.
Well, you know, and I would rather. I don't eat Chick-fil-A enough to be like, okay, let's sacrifice that.
What's like the real root of the problem here? I know for a while for me it was soda, and once I cut soda, it was like, okay, everything else is easier after this point.
I think okay, no more burgers. All
right.
That's the biggest thing.
We're giving up burgers this week.
I eat a lot of burgers. Yeah.
Fajitas, you know.
You know what it is, bro? If I cook for myself, I very much will eat it. Right? It's just like all the cleanup, and I live by myself. It's all me by myself, so I have to like cook by myself, clean by myself, do all this stuff by myself. I'm like, do I want to? Probably not. But it's a step, right? One little step in front of the other. And I know what I have to do. And all of us kind of do, but do we? Most times not. But what's your fitness goals? Let's talk about your stuff.
I'm trying to cut right now. I need to lose a little bit of weight. I got like up here on my arms, I have like no fat, which is really annoying because around like my stomach here, I have a lot that's building up. And I think part of it is like cortisol, right? It's the cortisol weight. Yeah, it's other part of it is just my diet. It's going to take time. So I need to stop with the sodas. And it's because I've cut it down to, I don't buy them anymore. Yeah. You know, I don't go to the back of the dealership. Oh, yeah. But like today, if I go to a restaurant and they don't have Gatorade or Powerade, and it's food that I feel like wouldn't taste good with water, I end up getting a soda. I need to cut that. It's a small thing. And then other than that, I've actually been pretty clean this week. You know, I don't think that I had anything fried. I think that my girl kept me away from that. And for the most part, it's just been Powerade and water.
What about working out? That's what
I should have. I should have went an extra day this week. There was one day that, man, I forgot what happened. I think that me and my girl were supposed to go and we didn't wake up. I think that was just it. If we would have woken up that extra day, I think that it would have been better. So at 2 days a week, I think that's not enough. I think 3 days is a good amount. If you work out hard within those 3 days. I know that you're like an enthusiast who goes every single day, but for me, going 3 days a week is, as long as I'm consistent. I know that I'm gonna go on Sunday. I know that I'm gonna go on my off day during the week.
So you got 2 days off, right there.
That extra day.
One more, bro.
Is I need to fit it in on one of the days that I work. That's always the hardest part, is fitting it in on a day that I work, and it's that's just gonna keep on. That's gonna be down to waking up early. And trying to do it after work is too fucked.
And you know what's funny, bro, is that I know that, like, okay, since you're only going 2 times a week, you don't have enough time to, like, fall in love with it. You said last podcast you very much look at it as work, right? And there's times where, yes, it's very much work. And there's times where, like, I'm miserable working out. But when I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, like, this is a little bit better than last time. And you start getting addicted to that stuff. And then once you start getting stronger, I know you like your light weights, right? But once you start getting stronger, you're like, it's a man thing, bro. Like, you're like, oh, I'm lifting big weights. I'm picking things up and putting them down. And I guarantee you, like, if you're a man and you don't feel manlier, like picking up 400 pounds and dropping and slamming in the middle of the gym, like you're
100%. I'm with that, and that's why I know that at least like once a week or twice a week I have to go, and I will force myself if I haven't done it. It's just that one day. Whenever we have 4 days in a row that we work, or the last week of the month is fucking painful, because that we have 4 12-hour shifts that we gotta work. Trying to fit working out in there is like, there's no good spot for it. Quick question for you before it disappears. James, what beard products do you use? Asking for a friend.
I really don't use much. I kind of, with like beard wash and beard like conditioner, it's like whatever I find that I go to like the bougie HEBs where there's all this like random stuff, and like I like trying new stuff, right? But I found like the Suavecito beard oil is like amazing. I don't know why it's so much better than any other beard oil I've ever used, and it's one of the only beard oils I've ever like used consistently, right? And we don't have to talk about this too much, but like it just makes it so much more shiny and so much more soft. And I do have like reds and like blondes in my hair, and it makes those come out. So that's really, I don't do much for it. I think it's very much just like I go get my hair cut every week, and my barber lines everything up and makes it look good. But I'm kind of just blessed to have that thick facial hair, but there's not much that goes into it, to be honest.
Okay, and then let's check in with the sales goals now.
Oh, yeah, bro. So that's another thing, too, is, okay, so for my sales goals, I am falling behind. For sure, I am behind, but I know that I can turn it on really quick. I know I have a lot of, like, my pipeline is definitely, like, growing, and I'm just waiting for all the chips to line up, and so they start knocking down. I know that it's going to be like like dominoes, right? That they're all going to start falling soon, right? So I think I'm at, like, four or 5 units, right? There's a day that I sold 3. Oh, 2.5. Shout out Luis. Luis, homie, helped me out on a big deal. And it's fun that we actually had a customer back out, and we actually had another customer come in and then buy that car. I mean, it was great. It was a great thing that happened. But so 2.5 cars one day, another half the next day. I'm only at like 4 right now, but I very much know I'm going to turn it around. I have a plan that I need to accomplish. I just got to keep on doing what I'm doing and trusting the process, and knowing that maybe I don't see the things working right now, but sooner or later everything's gonna start lining up the way it needs to be. What about you?
So right now I'm at 2. I have a third one that's gonna be coming in. It's pretty much a done deal. So you could say 2 or 3. I think this week I could have done a little better than what I did. Maybe not standing outside as much as I should have, and whenever I'm at my desk, I need to get more sharp. I need to get more efficient at picking up the leads, because I know that we're almost forced to sit and do phone calls right over there. So I know that there's a portion of my day where I'll have to sit at my desk and wait no matter what. So during that time, I think that I can get better at what I have in front of me and streamlining it. Like, your setup is definitely built for you to kind of be able to multitask. And I don't think that mine is. I think that the way that I'm doing it right now is I very much have to focus on one thing. Is like I'm focusing on the calls on this end, and like maybe I'll have my finger on the phone over here to answer if they call real quick. But I need to figure out a way to like have a third hand and be able to pick up leads with that third hand, right?
Yeah.
uh, doing that all at the same time. It was also a slow week for the dealership, just in general. Like our numbers were down, and they're real pissed about it. So usually, whenever that happens, they do the right thing. They spend the money on promotion, and the week after ends up being a hitter. So I think that this week will be really, really important on us being kind of locked in. For some reason, I feel like we have a really slow start and a really slow end, but our middle of the month is really strong.
Yeah.
And it's not like that at other dealerships. It's kind of strange. So I know that the 2 weeks in the middle are the most important ones,
Yeah. And so I think for sure, what are you going to do different, I guess, to this week compared to last week? Is it just not sounding outside as much, or are you going to commit to something right here in the podcast so we can hold you accountable next week, or what are we doing?
I'm going to
put him on the spot.
I'm going to sit at my desk and at least pick up a lead every single day. At least one lead. Hey, there's a lot of people competing off for the same leads. Last week I didn't pick up one internet lead, not one. So everything that everything that I was working was fresh ups. Okay.
So let me ask you, if I start catching so many leads and I start feeding you some deals, are you gonna start working them and putting them down, or how's this gonna work? Like, are you open to working half deals too? Is this something that what are we gonna get you to? How are we gonna get you to your goal?
I am open to working out some half deals. I do need to get better on the phone too.
I'm great.
Yeah. I know that you're great on the phone, and that's why the leads work so good for you. I get frustrated real fast over the phone, especially if a customer is like bugging me, like I want the out the door number right now. I want my payments, and I'm like, how am I supposed to get you payments? You haven't even you don't want to put in a credit app. I can't get you payments.
It's the word tracks that you're.
It's the word tracks. I need to have like we need to work on a little script. You know what I mean? When customer says I need the payment, and the thing to say back, my rebuttals back to them. Because the process over the phone sucks. I'm just like, hey, you want to come in or not? Like, if you come in, I'll get you the best deal. Like, there's no doubt I'll get you everything that you want if you can come in. But doing this over the phone is like, I'm not going to sit here and waste my day if you're sitting on your couch talking to me and 5 other people and just waiting to see whoever's going to pop out, Yeah. Someone's going to beat me by $50, and it's like.
Yeah, but it's also too like, how do you expect to get better if you don't fail?
Yeah, right. The theme of the episode, I'm gonna have to fail on some leads and
I don't want to do it
and waste some time to get good at it. All right, that'll be the switch up this week. Is I'll try to work some more over the phone stuff, and hopefully that'll accumulate some deals in the back end.
Okay, so we talked about that. What about personal goals this week? Anything that you have on your mind pretty heavy?
The podcast is a big thing right now, right? We're just starting this up. I want to put a lot of effort into it. Mm-hmm. I do want to make some time for music. So before the month ends, I want to at least it's June 7th right now. I want to be realistic because we're going to have a busy work schedule.
Yeah, let's get this
We're going to be doing a lot with the fitness. We're going to be doing a lot with the pod. I'm going to be putting in extra hours at work. I want to at least get one song done. One good song, not just like because I can sit there and do a song in an hour and just to like pump something out, and it'll be finished from start to toe and it'll be all right. I want to have like one good song to where, my team hears it and they're like, okay, this is, you at your highest level.
Hey, you know what too? I'm not going to lie to you. Let's talk about this because I've talked to you and I've told you music is still a big part of my life, right? I used to be a band kid, right, for the majority of my middle school and a little bit of high school, right? I played guitar and I sang in my church from the time I was 12 to 17, like a pretty long time. I very much wanted that to be something that, I wanted it to be a part of my life. And I told you that, like, if I ever had time, I'd probably go back and get, like, vocal lessons. I'd get, like, guitar lessons and actually kind of, like, put more effort into it. But I kind of want to get uncomfortable and say, like, hey, like, maybe not to get big, but just to say I did it, but maybe we can work on a song together. Like, eventually,
I would be 100% down. And that always makes you better working with someone who is willing to learn, but you might have to, walk through a little of the steps of more of, like, the whole creation of it. I'll go back to the basics, and whenever you go back to the basics, you end up remembering the stuff that first made your music good, because you forget some of that in the process. Once you get to, and this will go back to like the pride topic they were talking about. Once you get that pride and that ego, it's just like, okay, everything I'm doing is great. You forget the stuff that started making your music great in the first place.
And that kind of goes into sales too, right? That's why kind of some of the green peas that come in, they do so good because they're so like oblivious to everything. They don't know what's going on. Yeah. And then, so I see right here in the chat that says, I'm not good at bringing people in, same. Right. And so, and if we're talking about like prospecting for work, maybe we should focus on our weaknesses then, right? Those are the things that we are scared to fail as people. We are like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not scared to fail. Like I am scared for sure. I am very scared to fail, but it's just because I'm scared doesn't mean I can't do it. And I know that's the route I need to go. That's the route I need to attack to get better. And if my goal is to be better, then I need to overcome my fears for sure. So getting comfortable, do some things that you want to do. Or I mean, another thing too is utilize the people around you. Like you have goals and your sales goals, but how many times do you really come up to me and ask me for help on certain things?
You know what? One of my biggest challenges is getting in front of customers. And the thing is I'm not saying I'm that good of a salesperson, but usually whenever I'm in front of someone, I'm going to sell them. You know, I don't think that I have a problem with that. I think that my biggest problem is getting in front of people. And that's something
everybody's problem.
Yeah. You know, and I think that you're a lot better than I am at that. And you do put in the extra work. I will say that you are one of the people who can generate their own business. You know, take away the store leads and Jaime will still sell cars. You take that away from anybody else and most people will not sell cars.
Yeah. I'm always going to find a way to win. And that's like adapting and overcoming, right? I tell my management, right, that I very much wish I could be like the guy who does a little bit of everything, right? But I do have maybe 2 or 3 things that I feel like I'm really good at, and then eventually I would like to add like other routes. But these are, I mean, yeah, I've had 5 years in the business, right? So at that point, I've had 5 years to fail and kind of figure out that maybe I need to learn how to get uncomfortable and also do things that other people aren't doing. Like we've talked about doing like real quick, like maybe not a podcast, but just real quick, like me and you on
Reels content.
Yeah, like different stuff like that. And at our dealership, who does that? Like honestly, maybe one person, maybe just JC.
Yeah,
right?
But I was like, JC's the only person, and that is somebody else there who can generate their own business, and he does very well with it.
Yes, bro, JC like thrives off of that stuff, right? Yeah. So we have people around us who are very much good role models when it comes to this stuff. So why aren't we doing it too? You know?
Real quick, it says right there in the chat. Ego moderation is important to me. I think too much is asking for as much trouble as too little. Yeah. So there's not a problem with being confident. Yeah. The problem is whenever you have an ego. An ego is the negative side of that. Confidence is great. Whenever you develop an ego, usually I feel like it's blinding. That's what an ego is. An ego is whenever you become too big for your bridges and it's starting to block out your vision of what you're actually doing or what's in front of you. So, of course, having confidence is great. As a man, you know, this is a men's podcast. Having confidence you need confidence. You need to be confident in yourself. Like you said, he has to believe that he's the best salesman there in order for him to do good.
And so just going into that real quick, I'm a strong believer that my ego is...
What's up, Adrian?
My ego is very much the thing that got me to be a 20-car salesperson and maybe even a 30-car salesperson. But my ego is also the same thing that keeps me from being a 40 or 50-car salesperson. Because, I mean, I won't lie, there's definitely 5 to 7 to 8 to maybe 10 deals a month I could have made that I didn't because I don't like the idea of me losing money. And not me losing money on my check, but just like profits at the dealership.
On a deal, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Like, it's always the customers that they're fighting for every penny, and I'm like, you don't deserve this car. You know, and I'm like, you know what? It's okay, but there's no room.
Because someone else will pay for it. That's what you know in your head, and that's what happened with the deal with Luis. Is it, you know, you let that deal go because you knew that somebody else will pay what we're asking for on this car.
Yeah, and somebody did.
Somebody did, you know.
And he was so happy. That's the crazy part too. Is like that
those
situation.
People are always so happy. And sometimes whenever you give somebody everything at the dealership, this is a real story, is those are the people who always burn you on the survey. Yeah. Those are the people who always come back and complain about everything. And they stole the car. They got everything that they wanted. And they're always the people who treat you the worst in the end. It's crazy. It's crazy. The people that you get everything out of, they always love you.
Those are the people who send you all their family.
Yes.
Bro, those are the people who always send you referrals and all that stuff. And like, honestly, like those are the people who like have your cell phone number. They text you, they call you. And the people that send you Christmas cards, bro. I've received Christmas cards.
Business is business. And I explained this to Ricardo because he's like, oh man, I felt bad because I made money in this deal. I said, Ricardo, why do you feel bad about making money? That's how business works. If you were selling cookies and it costs you $3 to make each cookie, are you going to sell the cookies for $2 and lose $1 on every cookie? How would that make sense? Is anybody going to be mad at you for selling the cookies for $5 so you can make your $2?
You know what's crazy too is like
in the car business, it's the same thing. People get mad that we make money, but that's how business is done. That's how every other business is sold. You don't get mad at Apple whenever they make fucking they charges them $100 to make this phone, and they give you $1,000 price, and you're not like, oh man,
you gotta finance it.
They're making money on me, like fuck them. Like no, you
I'm
go
not
buy their
gonna buy
fucking
a phone.
product. Yeah, you go buy their product. You don't ask them to. Oh, well, it only costs you guys $100. Can you give me $50? Like,
yeah, no, yeah. So it's you have to realize that everyone's gonna protect their own paycheck, whether it's the customer or you, right? But that's where the knowledge and all that stuff, like we talk about, like failing, like sooner or later you're gonna get better at doing your job. And there's very much times where like just depending on how you say it and what you say changes everything, right? I know that sometimes I very much would go in a different like a different mood with the customer, and it could very much change. I could say the same things but in two different tones, and it's very much different, right? But then it always there's always a way to find things to make things work, right? And I'll tell customers, hey guys, this is a business, right? Like we're obviously,
he's one of the only people who will sit there and tell the customers like, hey, yeah, we are trying to make money on you, this is not a secret.
Yeah, like what? Okay guys, I'm sorry I put 10 on there. We have to pay that like we employ somebody as a tent guy here at our dealership. This is how he puts food on the table for his family, right? We pay him every day to come in here, and it's like not even
put tent on the cars.
Yeah, and he's outside, bro. Like he's outside and he's in a little cover, right? But he's tending all these cars. He's sweating. And he's moving all these cars back and forth in the Texas weather. And yes, we charge for tent, but that's another way we put, we feed a family somewhere. I'm not saying I feed the family personally, but like whenever you buy a car with 10 on it, we employ this guy who takes money home and feeds his family, And so like, yeah, I'm sorry that we're charging for 10. We're charging for a service that maybe you want to pay less overall, but these are all things that we're very much not trying to take advantage of anybody, but this is our job. This is very much our job, right? This is how we pay our bills, and and that's the thing is I think people don't understand just because they probably think that we're making like so much money, but in reality, like, hey, we are very much a volume dealership that we're trying to, get everything in, pennies here, pennies there, whatever it is, and kind of get everything together. I very much tell people, what is it that my job is? I'm not a salesperson. My job is to maximize profits and minimize losses.
100%. So what's your personal goals for the month? We talked about mine. I want to make one good song this month just for me, and fit that in with all of the fitness goals, the sales goals, the podcast goals. Somewhere in there, fit in a badass song. What do you want to do this month?
So I have so many things I'm working on right now that I want to get better about time management, bro. Like I want to get on a sleep schedule. I want to get on like I do all these things. Like I take. No, like sometimes it's even a small, like I forget to take my creatine every day, right? Like certain things like that. I want to get
important.
Well, yeah, I take 10 grams. I take 10 grams of creatine every day. But
how many scoops is that?
It's 2.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, right? But it's one of those.
Because you made it 10 sound like it was crazy. I was like, fuck. I was like, are you putting 10 scoops?
No. So I want to get just locked in with my time, bro. I have crazy time blindness when it comes to ADHD. Bro, I'm always late in the morning, right? Like you'll see me coming with donuts because I'm late. But it's I want to get better with my time. I want to get on a schedule because I very much know that there's a lot of like in between times that I'm wasting my time essentially, and that's where it ends up biting me in the ass later, So I want to get on a schedule where I'm going to the gym in the morning, right? Where I'm not having to take time out of my whatever I'm gonna do after work, right? And then I want to like, bro, all this stuff was very much put together last minute. I told myself I was gonna do this early in the week, at least have some plot points, right? So we can at least like kind of go back and forth about them. Yeah. And we did all this right now. And I'm not saying it was bad. I think that we very much did something.
We
good
did a
here.
good episode, yeah.
Yeah, but it's could have been better? Could we have maybe had like a more of a funnel, like where it all came together at the end? I think, yeah, so this is very much a way for us to get better. So I think time management, just getting on that schedule and getting more discipline, I guess, getting more discipline with my time. And also like my eating, right? I need to make time to prep
Yeah,
my
but
meals.
that one's still wrapped up in your fitness goals.
Yeah,
The
for
time
sure.
management
Yeah.
will be definitely the thing that you want to do personally, and hopefully next week we have a better plan,
Yeah.
ahead, and not too scripted. I don't want it to feel like
My
we're
mentor's calling
acting
me.
or. Who?
Hey, shout out Corey, my mentor in the car business. That's like my dad. I'm sorry, Corey, I just hung up on you, but I'm gonna let you know why.
Yeah, we'll give him a call back here in a couple
Yeah.
minutes. We do got to end it here because we went way over the time that we were supposed to. But I think it was all good conversation. Everything was natural. We talked about everything that we wanted to talk about, including some extra stuff. Responded to the chat, so we're gonna.
I appreciate everybody who like took the time to like stay with us the whole time and kind of like comment and stuff like that. Like honestly, like it means a lot. I know I probably like I can't see. I'm kind of blind, right? But I definitely once I go and like kind of read everything, I don't know if I know y'all personally, but hopefully y'all follow me on Instagram or something like that, so we can have like some open line of communication. Y'all can help us out in the future.
And I hope you guys got something out of this. We'll see you guys next week.
I don't know when we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
maybe on our day off or we'll figure it out. It's definitely gonna be sometime next week.
Yeah. We'll either be next Sunday, or if we have the ability to do another episode during the week, then we will do it.
Yeah,
but it
maybe
is
on a
gonna
day
be a
off.
bit